this, I've done that, I'm bored. Yeah, lots more things are coming out creatively. And you're part of that creation, of bringing it into being manifested. So don't hold back. Your dreams, your desires are very important to be physically present. You know, hold your tongues. Don't say anything that is going to put you back down in the third or the fourth. Yeah. Even though the temptation is there. Oh, I'm in thought about it, I'm really thinking about it. No, I'm going to accept this situation exactly how it is. I'm going to accept this person. I'm even going to accept that this person doesn't want to change. I'm going to accept that this person is mean-spirited. I'm going to accept that this person is really not able to be in my life anymore. I'm going to accept this. Yeah? And just accept. Because the more that you accept, the more that you're in your heart, the more you're going to manifest in your life first and then externally. And this is extremely important to us. Now, one more thing before we'll open up to some questions. A lot of, we mentioned this earlier, a lot of people are going to want to leave the planet. So when you hear about people, you know, physically leaving, don't go into grief. Think to yourself, maybe they wanted to go home. Maybe they're happy. Because a lot will want to go home. And there are also those that don't want to go into the fifth. They're not ready. When you hear of these people starving, let's say in Africa or India or somewhere like this, it is true that many, many millions are starving because of power struggles, because of corruption. It is also true that there are those within those systems that get help, that leave the country. You know, they have their miracles. Yeah? Because they're moving forward. And those that choose to leave physically are choosing not to move forward at this moment. Some are choosing to incarnate into a nice family, you know, where they can move forward without starving. You see? So it is not for you to judge, right? If you're judging the politicians, if you're judging the system, you're part of it. But if you say, I'm accepting that that exists at the moment, and I'm just going to go into my heart. What needs to happen will happen. All of this is needing to happen. If you look at the Middle East, this is not a very nice religion. It's very suppressive. It's very violent. All of this rioting that needs to go on needs to happen. And the government system that comes in will be Muslim. And it will restrict the people even more. And they will riot even more. But this time with the understanding that there's something amiss with their religion. They won't want their religion to run the country anymore. They will want something else. So they will question. And this is important. It may seem terrible to you, but it's important. They need to question. Okay, so we will, are there some questions you would like to ask?
Yes. You mentioned vortex.
Mentioned?
Vortexes.
Yeah.
On Earth. What are they and what do they make? What do they make you do or help us on Earth.
Mm. You are referring to yesterday
Yes.
when we mentioned the vortexes, yeah. Okay, so we'll just fill everybody in what we spoke about. There are 12 main vortexes or points of creation. There are many other types of vortexes, but there are 12 main points of creation upon the planet Earth. One of them happens to be in Slovenia. So, you know, there are a lot of countries on planet Earth, but one of them happens to be in Slovenia. And we said to those here that it is in this lake region of Bohim. And often you find that these vortexes are in areas where it's not heavily populated, because the energy can be quite strong. And we were discussing that a lot of these vortexes were closed. They were used, after the earth was created, they were used as a vehicle for higher beings to come onto a lower dimensional planet and manifest certain living things, to co-create together, to support the planet in its evolution. In other words, animals, mankind, from Neanderthal, from ape, Neanderthal to human being, etc. So they were like doorways. And there were other vortexes too that were also used by different star seeds to travel to and from, which saved a big time frame. And these points of creation are set up like, sort of like acupuncture points. So they have certain frequencies, and we were discussing that the one in Slovenia is between the solar plexus and the heart. Yeah. So it means between the mental body, yeah. So between the fourth and the fifth, in some ways. And so it's very important, because what it does, and you also have two major lines that cross over in Slovenia to do with male and female energy. Now they cross over in Bled. They don't cross over at the same place where the vortex is. And these places, if you go to them and you sit in your heart, if you think about what it is you personally want or what you want for the planet, it enhances that energy greatly. It's a point of creation. It was used by prime creators. So it is a point where you personally can enhance your energy also. You can communicate more clearly with spirit in those places, although many of you don't need that at this point. But it will enhance what it is that you're wanting to create, more so on the planet, so it will stabilize the planet. The reason that they were closed down along with many others is because they were going to be used for negative means. So they were closed down, then they were recently reopened. This one in Slovenia was in October 2010, was completely opened. Its radius is about 50 kilometers, so it really spreads out. And this is to, you know, that you have a solar system, yeah, and each one of these vortexes has a connection with another planet. Okay. Now, it also has a connection within the universe. So it helps to bring in dimensional shifts. So that's why it's important that they're open. They're open now because there is, although it may not seem that way, more light than there is darkness existing on the planet. It would be very unusual for any of you at this moment to come across something very evil. If you remember years ago, you would have. Some of you have come across some very dark energies. Now, not so much, because these energies are leaving, and the reason that they're leaving is because, remember we spoke about a number of years ago, this wall of light that is traveling from another universe into this universe and through this universe, turning this universe into a universe of light. Now some of you come from another universe that is pure light. You traveled into this one to help this universe, and you've gone from Andromeda, the Pleiades, Sirius, you've gone to a few different planets. So that's why you resonate with starseeds from that planet or with that planet when you read something. So this light will hit the sun. Now, there is a lot of predictions by science, because science has now acknowledged that there is this light that is moving through. It's also acknowledged that as it moves, it transforms everything in its way. They can't really see it. Why? Because they're third or fourth dimensional beings, so they can't see into the field, right? So, that's okay. They are predicting that when it hits the sun will turn into a supernova and everything on the planet will be destroyed. Right? Well, that's not going to happen. Yes, it will hit the sun. Yes, the sun will transform, but so will planet Earth. A huge wave of transformational light will travel through the Earth, and it's these vortexes need to be open. So, you know that one would have to be in Egypt, wouldn't it? Okay? Yeah. Just think. In Australia, yeah. So when you start to think about these places, you would know where these are. Okay? And they are allowing that frequency to come to, if, let's say those vortexes were closed, for instance, and this wave of light came through, there's a resistance from Mother Earth. Of course she would just explode. A resistance. But if Mother Earth and you are all working in harmony with these vortexes, which you are doing, there is an acceptance. There is no resistance. There's a surrender. So that actually allows everything to transform. However, it really will not be, that you go to bed 21st of the 12th, 2012, and you wake up 22nd and the whole thing's beautiful. No, because light manifests, right? Now, what's existing? We just said to you, there's not much evil around anymore. There's a lot of grey matter, a lot of power struggles, control issues, manipulation, corruption. Okay, there's a lot of that. Now, a lot of the dark beings, they know this is coming. They know that if they stay here, they will die. They won't cease to exist, so they're leaving. Some of them are still fighting the game, but most of them are leaving. Okay? So the chances of you coming up against something really evil, very slight. The chances of you coming up against something that's grey, in other words, it's controlling, manipulating, yeah, high, because it's all coming out. You're seeing it. You can see it now. Before you would go, I'm not sure. Is she? Isn't he? I don't know. Oh, I know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them my money. I'll do it with them. And then you go, they did the wrong thing by me. I knew it. I should have listened to my intuition. Now, you're absolutely clear on your intuition. Absolutely. You can spot a manipulation now. Okay? You can see a control situation. So, okay, you move forward, but it's still existing. So, grey, if light manifests, right, and it exposes everything, the grey can still exist within it for a period of time. Because the light, as we said, it if you just stand your ground, it will get stronger and it will go out. It will reverberate out. And anything that is grey cannot come near it. But your light needs to get stronger in order for that to happen. You're literally moving it, sweeping it, not punching it or pushing it. You're sweeping it away. So, that's why it's going to take a period of time, in between that time frame, for all of that grey matter to leave. Haven't you noticed people are going crazy? They're running out in the street, killing their families, getting out of cars, punching someone in the head. They're just going mad because the energy is pushing out all of the grey. And if they've got negative thoughts, didn't you go through it some time ago? When, oh, I'm trying to sleep and I'm thinking, oh, this is bad about myself, why am I doing this? All of these negative thoughts. And at some point that stopped. And it stopped about 18 months ago for many of you. 12 months ago for some of you. So it stopped. Now, occasionally you have a negative thought, and some of it's just habit. To say it about yourself. Not that you're necessarily thinking it. You're just saying it in order to connect. One person says, oh, you know, I've got such a pain in my stomach. Oh, I hate this dress or whatever. And you go, yes, I know, my hair is really driving me crazy. So you're connecting, like we said, but, you know, that grey is leaving. That's what is coming up at this moment. So those vortexes are facilitating that. They're connecting with you. They're connecting with the other planets. They're connecting with the universe. And they're facilitating this awakening. It's like when you open your chakras. New things come in. So what you can do is go spend time there. If you have a desire, if you have a wish, if you have an intention, there's nothing wrong with going there and putting that there. Nothing wrong with it. And if you don't, you just need to feel rejuvenated, do that too. You know, everything is okay. We're not saying to you, you're not allowed to think about dreams anymore, you just have to let things happen. You can still think about your dreams, what you would like to do, your desires. That makes your life exciting. But what we're saying is you don't have to actually calculate everything and control everything. When you have a dream or desire, feel it in your heart and go about your business. And the opportunity will come for you to say yes. Yeah? If you want something, the opportunity will come to you. So, do we have another question?
What's happening with the animals?
What do you mean by this question?
Are they going to fifth dimension too?
Well, they don't have the control issues that humans do, you know? So, yeah. Did you notice that some of them had disappeared and then they're finding new species? Yeah. Evolution. So, yeah, they're definitely, and the same with the plants. Like your food is going through a transformation, as the earth does. So before, when you would eat food that didn't have a lot of nutrition in it, you know, growing in weak soil or what have you, soon that soil will transform itself and have all the nutrients in it. But science will also learn how to do that. You know, in the next couple of years, there will be amazing creations to cleaning water, to cleaning air, to healing the ozone, you know, to doing all of those things. They're on their way, literally. So there'll be incredible advancements. And you will begin to have a different connection with animals also. A more positive connection. Because you will, when you move into unity, you begin to feel each other more differently. You know instantly if something is a threat to you. Now, it's not that you will be able to read each other's minds and, you know, if someone doesn't want you to know their thoughts, you cannot invade them. That's control, that's manipulation. And it does happen in the fourth, but in the fifth, no. You respect each other's boundaries on all levels. So, say for instance you meet someone and you want to do a project together. You can say, yes, I would like to do this, and you can feel it from each other, whether that person really wants to do it with you, and what knowledge they have, if they want to share it with you, can be imparted to you, and you with them. So you can share ideas, information with each other telepathically, if you choose to do that. And only as much, it's like talking, only as much as you choose to share. But you know, you feel the connection with each other. There is no distance. You feel the connection with the trees. Sometimes you've had magical experience with trees or animals, and it's made you feel amazing for a few days, and you've spoken to everyone about it, and then it stops, closes up. Well, can you imagine if you had that all day, every day? It's beautiful. You have other things that you aspire to, that you learn about. It doesn't stop, never stops. Light is about creation. It never stops. So, do we have another question?
How do you see our new government and the person that was elected now as a president? Will he be able to succeed to create a government that will be successful?
That's a good question. We had something like this yesterday. Part of the reason that this difficulty is happening is because your government system is going to have to transform in order to survive. We were discussing that Slovenia is like a doorway to other countries and can be a role model for other countries on many different levels, and even politically. Yeah. So you'll find that from each, what will eventually have to happen, yes, this person is very good. First, to answer your question, yes, this person is very good. In the sense that they're also a little bit innocent and don't really realize what they're getting into. You know, not really. So he is going to have to wake up a little bit, but he doesn't want to do things the same way. So that's going to be a challenge. So what is going to end up by happening is that a representative from each party will form like a council. You would call it a coalition. We would call it a council. So they would have to work together. And what will eventually happen also is that from every part of the community, someone will be represented within that council, such as a farmer, a nurse, a doctor, a teacher, a professor, you know, all joining in to give their information to ensure that each sector of the community is cared for. So there could be a young person, an elderly person, you know, a collective. So they don't have to have been studied certain thing, you know, in order to be part of that council. Doesn't mean they'll be permanently on that council, but they will be elected for a period of time to speak on behalf of those people within the community. So yeah, there will be some changes. Yeah. So, is there another question?
Is it okay to ask personal?
If you want to be public, yes.
Can you point me in the direction towards the soul partner?
This has to do again with your heart, what we said. If there is something that you desire, just go to your heart. If it is right for you, it will come to you. You're not meant to be alone. When you move into unity consciousness, it's not about everybody being separately within it. You come together. Relationships come together. The strongest relationships that you have is with the opposite sex, an intimate relationship. We can say this, but these soul connections can also be same-sex relationships. We don't really have gender preference in spirit. So, in any intimate relationship, they will mirror you. They will be your strongest learning tool. Because with your friends, maybe you see them for a period of time once a day. You don't sleep with them, you don't eat with them, you don't clean up after them. Yeah? You don't make decisions about life together or your home together. Okay, you have flatmates, but if you have flatmates, people that you live with, who you are not intimate with, you still have your individual life. They're not breathing next to you. So it's different. When you're in an intimate relationship, it is constant. So it is even harder at times to stop criticizing, judging, and to stay in your heart. Yeah? Because there is always, between differing energies, a little bit of a power struggle. Yeah? I want to eat this for dinner. No, I want to eat this. Which one's going to win? Can we compromise? And sometimes one feels like they're compromising more than the other one feels like they're compromising. So there can be an intimate relationship is your biggest learning lesson. So if you're asking for that, you're also asking for growth. So for some, we would say this: if you want a partner, say, I know I cannot go to the next level with my heart and grow without a partner, so send me this partner, because I'm ready to grow. But if there is a part of you that is saying, yeah, I want a partner, but I don't want a partner to make my life more easy. I want a partner to give love to feel love from. I want a partner for all these other different reasons. The partner comes with conditions. You enter it with conditions. So you're not going to get a soul partnership. Right? You're going to get a karmic relationship. And because they are no longer really connected, particularly with those moved into the fifth, it's not going to happen. So it's very important to be very clear about what you are willing to do, how much you're willing to grow, how much you're willing to compromise, how much you're willing to face yourself. Because a partner will say to you, more than a friend will, you're being unreasonable, you're being selfish. That's not right. A partner will say that because for the first 3 months they won't say anything. Oh, you're beautiful, you're fantastic. But after that they will. Yeah, they will, and so will you. So what we're saying to you is be realistic about what it means in your life to have that partner. Because it is always about growth. Soul partners, we've spoken about this before, are different because they come from the same soul family, which means that their resonance is not so different to each other. When you have a soulmate, you're from a different soul family, so your resonance is different, which can make it very passionate. It can make it very exciting, you know. It can make it like this attraction is very, very strong. However, a soul partner, because you resonate